everyone, Deborah Torres here. Final week of Comic Write, which I really enjoyed. I have a couple stories that I'm trying to emulate into graphic novels, or they could be sci-fi, but I really was interested in graphic novel. And after reading the comics and working with the lettering assignment, I was very, very pleased to get a little more into this comic write, and now it's a comic read. And what I've done is I read Warriors of Plasm, Home for the Holidays, with those characters right there, and it was a very good read, by the way. It has the makers of Len Wein and Dave Cockrum. And then we have a great creative team. The creative team consists of 12 people. And it starts off with the editor-in-chief, Jim Shooter. And he's, I've seen his name a few different places, so I'm sure he's very popular. Winston Folks is the publisher. Deborah Purcell, the editorial director. Janet Jackson, I don't know if it's the Janet Jackson, but creative director. Peter Lukic, a design director. Ed Polgardy, associate editor. Michael Nomenson, he's the manufacturing manager. Joe James, the production coordinator. Debbie Fix is the general manager. And then you have Clark Smith. Clark Smith is the sales and marketing manager. Michael Hurley, last but not least, advertising sales. So it took all of them to create one 57-page comic strip. And when I began to read this comic strip, it was a little testy to grasp who, what, and where, and when. So I would suggest that you read other Warriors of Plasm and then get into this one here. But this one here is that chaos happens and the townspeople, their org is blown up, and then the bad guys come in, and I'll get a little further into that. But the townspeople, they gather to request the emperor's advice, and that is kind of just a little slow start. But when you get to around page 4 or 5, you're going to get the beginning of your arc in the story. Page 12 is about when the construction begins with the org being constructed. Page 15, they realize they are going to miss Christmas, and that's where the title sets in. And then there's going to be a battle against the Zoms, and so that's pretty interesting. So here we have the org, and this is where I believe they live. And then this is just kind of creepy comic stuff. And then it gets into the story plot. And this is where they, all the townspeople gather because their orb blew up. Their org blew up. So they all kind of went into space, and then there was a little bit of frantic matter happening, and so that would be the beginning of the arc. And then it continues on with the emperor right here. He's the emperor, and he has to try and manage and help the townspeople rebuild and create a new beginning foundation. And so that goes on. And then this is the townspeople asking for help and telling the emperor that they have nowhere else to turn. So that was, again, pretty exciting. Then the story goes continues on into we're going to miss Christmas. So here it is. So now they know that they're going to be missing Christmas, and so of course they're a little bit sad about that, and they've got to find their way to bring back Christmas. And then we have the poor grandkids and the sob stories, and that's pretty much Act 2. So they move forward with all of that happening, where they're trying to discover how they can have Christmas amongst all the chaos with the orb blowing up and the Empire on his battles that he's on. And then we keep moving through where the chaos continues into the fight and the structure. And it says, prepare to die, chattel for the greater glory of the org. So they're fighting over the battle of the org. And so then they continue on. And then this one is, but this is one of the reasons we decided to stay on Plasm. Remember, and then someone else comes in and says, that still doesn't make it any easier, ma'am. And then there's still the chaos happening, which is pretty much your arc number 2. So beginning was the Empire showing that there was a leader, and then the townspeople gathered because the org blew up, and now they need to reconstruct it, and now they're kind of going through that chaos and battle pretty quickly. It's just all arousing. And then we will meet again, fools. The conflict arises with the battle strength, and the ground settles, and battle bombs are birthed. And this is part of Act 2, where it just goes more and more into battle. And I believe here is a wonderful splash page that I wanted to show you. That's really good art for a comic, and the story moves really well into it. And if you look right here, those are the battle bombs are birds. Battle bombs are the enemies that are coming. So that was pretty cool to point out to you. And then we have the structure keeps going on, and this is where fear sets in, and as we plummet towards the ending, we get all of this chaos is still going on, conversations, trying to get the Emperor where they need the Emperor, and they need a good leader, and the battle continues to move forward. And I have clothed her and educated her about herself. As usual, my Emperor, enjoy her. And so the Emperor gives this lady, and I believe to the enemies, if I'm correct. I had no idea I could feel so afraid. Yeah, so that just shows a lot of drama going on in there. And then they finally get their Christmas set up, and they believe they're going to have a Christmas tree, and they're all gather for it, only for a surprise in the Christmas tree. And of course, leave it up to the good old comics. And there is danger in the tree, danger in the Christmas tree. So, and the story moves forward as things continue to battle. And because I think we may have trouble brewing, and I do mean big time trouble still brewing with this colony and the battle bombs. trouble arises with the Order of Empire. The villains go head to head, and it takes you back to New Jersey before they were superheroes. Memories of them celebrate Christmas, and in this comic book, they do not use the Z effect. They do not use the Z effect. They actually just go straight across down to the next page. So we didn't get that. And then here is the Plasm Warriors, Warriors of Plasm, and that is them trying to celebrate Christmas with all the beasts and the terror and everything that arose within the plan. I did enjoy this comic, and I enjoyed many comics in this course, and I really hope that in the future I can get those graphic novels written. And okay, wholesalers, you guys have a wonderful day.